This animation is going to help teach you guys the rules and the gameplay of handball and physical wellness. Each team is going to have 6 players on the court. One of those players is going to be the goalie for each team. To start, you'll always do rock, paper, scissors to see which team is going to start with the ball. The team that wins rock, paper, scissors gets to start with the ball. To begin the game, the team that has the ball must throw it to one of their teammates. The second that pass happens, the game begins and both teams are allowed to cross the center line, much like the game of soccer. The objective of the game is to pass the ball back and forth with your teammates and throw the ball into the defending team's goal. If you are the person that has the handball, you are only allowed 3 steps, 3 dribbles, or a combination of 3 steps and 3 dribbles. Just like in the game of basketball though, you can't double dribble. So if you put the ball on the ground for 2 dribbles and you pick it up, you are not allowed to dribble again. You can use your 3 steps after you dribble the ball, but you can't put the ball back down for the 3rd dribble since you already stopped. Now on defense. The team without the ball is playing defense. On defense, your team is allowed to intercept a pass, knock a pass down, or guard a player to prevent them from catching the ball. Defense cannot steal the ball out of a player's hands, and they're not allowed to make physical contact with another person. In front of the goal, there is a marked semicircle. That area is actually called the crease. It's a lot like the forbidden zone in tchoukball or the crease in lacrosse. No player is allowed in the crease if they have the ball in their hands, except the goalie. Defenders are not allowed to step inside the crease to help defend their goal. So basically, everybody has to stay out of the crease, except the goalie. If you are the person with the ball and you shoot it, you're allowed to land inside the crease as long as the ball is out of your hand by the time your foot hits the ground. Goalies are allowed to use any part of their body to block a shot. Once they grab the ball, they're allowed 3 steps to the top of the crease to throw it to one of their teammates. If the ball is intercepted, the defending team, in this case the green team, is now on offense. They're then going to try to move the ball back and forth towards the opposite team's goal to try and score. In our gym, if the ball hits the black mat, it's going to be considered a goal. So for this example, the green team just threw the ball, they scored the point. After a team scores, both teams are going to go back to their sides, and each goalie switches for a new goalie. To start the play after a goal is scored, the new goalie will throw the ball into play. Once the goalie throws the ball to a teammate, both teams are allowed to cross the center court and the game continues. So the goalie passes it in to a teammate. Right now, both teams are allowed to cross and they continue playing. If the pass goes out of bounds along the sideline of the actual court, the team that did not touch it or throw it gets to grab the ball. So in this case, the blue team threw it out of bounds. The green team is then going to get the ball out of bounds. They'll be able to inbound the pass from wherever it went out. That first pass cannot be intercepted or knocked down by the defense. So basically, the green team is going to get a free throw into the court. Another goal is scored. Both teams go back to their side. The new goalie gets to inbound it back to one of their teammates. A couple of other big rules in the game of handball. If the ball's on the ground, you are not allowed to dive or slide for it. It's whoever gets there first. The first person to pick it up gets possession. The game continues. So it's not like Air Force football where an incomplete pass happens, the other team picks it up and it's their ball. If an incomplete pass happens, whichever team gets there first gets the ball. They pick it up and they start playing. For our gym, the wall that the goal is against is not out of bounds. So if the handball hits the back wall, we keep playing. It's not out. You don't stop the game. Now there's a couple of situations that are going to be considered penalties. There's going to be a penalty if one of the defenders steps into the crease. It's also a penalty if the person shooting steps into the crease with the ball still in their hands. If a defender makes contact with the shooter, that's a penalty. If a person dives or slides on the ground for the ball, that will also be a penalty. If the person with the ball happens to take more than 3 steps or dribbles more than 3 times in a row, that will be a penalty. And if a person double dribbles, so they dribble the ball, they pick it up, and then they dribble it again, that will also be a penalty. So in this scenario, a green defender stepped into the crease. That's going to be a penalty. If a penalty occurs, the opposite team gets possession of the ball at the location of the penalty. So the blue team would still get the ball. They get it right where the green player was. In order for the game to start back up after a penalty, though, they have to pass the ball at least one time before they're allowed to shoot. So the player with the ball right now cannot shoot. They have to pass at least once. So the pass happens. Now if they want, that player can shoot, which they do. It hits the black mat. That's going to be a point for the blue team.